Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Waffle Press Movie Podcast. I am your host, Diego Crespo. With me, as always, is my co-host, Gina Versa, officially editor for The Asylum.
Yep. Did my first freelance gig with them, so hopefully more. It nearly killed me.
Yeah.
But I'm alive now, and I'm a better editor and filmmaker and maybe a person.
You know, sometimes life just needs to hit you hard, Gene, so you can become better for it or die. I mean, maybe it's just your time. You know, I don't know.
Maybe.
All right, and Renee Bravo.
Hello.
Hello, Renee. It's good to be back.
It's been a while.
Haven't been here to record for a while, but back we are at Undercity Comics in Uptown Whittier. And today we have two very special guests, Scott Anthony Lopez and Jesus Jauregui, two screenwriters that we have been friends with for some time. Yeah.
One was our teacher.
One was our teacher, yeah. How are you guys doing today?
Good. Great. Thank you. You know, braving LA traffic to get here.
Yeah.
It's a pleasure being here. Big fans of the show.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's a pleasure to have you guys. Thank you very much for that.
Awesome.
So why don't you guys go ahead and talk a little bit about yourselves?
Yeah, you just finished a screenplay?
We are actually working halfway through our third screenplay. We have two finished scripts already. Scott and I have actually known each other for going on 32 years. We met first day of freshman year, been best friends ever since.
Wow. So you went to high school too?
I went to high school together, Cantwell High School.
Oh, okay.
And we are just coming off promoting our scripts and pushing our scripts at the Pasadena International Film Festival. We kind of both started off in a career in the industry, and kind of our paths diverged into different things. We're both teachers. We were both teachers. I'm no longer a teacher. I got laid off from the post that gave me the honor of meeting you guys. But now I'm working in something similar, working in social work, dealing with developmentally disabled. But when I got laid off in 2009, excuse me, from the teaching position, my friend over here, we goes, hey, we've always talked about writing that script. It's time to put up or shut up, So that fall, we kind of started outlining, started kind of getting things organized, and in January of 2010 we started writing. And that first script was a struggle. You're kind of going in blindly, kind of disorganized, and it took a little bit longer than expected. By the second one, we kind of had refined our technique, and now we've only been writing the third one about 4 months? 3 months.
We're on a roll.
That's that includes like pre-planning and outlining. We now try to do all the character development and the outlining of the action and everything beforehand, so that way when we sit down, we crank out the pages as fast as possible, because we already know what we're writing for. It's not what should they do here, what plot twist are we going to put in this place. But
they always say write what you know, and the first film we wrote was a coming of age film going back to our youth, and it's called Primos, which was one of the finalists at the Pasadena International Film Festival
For this year?
For this year, 2017.
Congratulations.
Congrats.
And we went from that film. We have won some awards. We've been trying to market this year. And our second film was a full-length script of a film we shot in high school, but we wanted to make it a feature film now. So.
Yeah, there's actually a merger of a film that we did in high school just for shits and giggles.
Poops. And
it was funny because the original one, if you see it, there's it's kind of like an action chase scene.
The warriors.
Yeah, kind of like he has to get from one place to another safely, and you look at it and there's a bunch of inside jokes. We make fun of our classmates, things like that. But we wanted to take that, and then there was another project that Scott did when he was doing his bachelor's at Cal State Fullerton. There's also kind of like a chase element to it, and then we merged the two together. There's elements of both, so cinematic and like the settings and the scenes, the way they're structured and stuff. I mean, obviously we don't put instructions in the script because they always tell you never tell the director what to do. Right. But as we're writing it, we're telling each other, remember that scene where he gets hit in the face with the bag of oranges, and so we're kind of like
spoiler alert.
Yeah, spoiler alert.
But
so that's what
this film or this script is. Johnny Was a Gangster. It's an urban action thriller, written of course by Jesus and I, and it was the winner of the 2016 Urban Action Expo Showcase in New York City, and that we came in first place for that, and we're really proud of that. That led us into turning it into script and book formats, which was part of the all genre screenplay competition that we're currently in.
Yeah, there's an organization called DCEU who puts on this competition.
Publishing house.
Yeah, and then they take the scripts and they choose a certain amount, and then those get uploaded onto Amazon, and they keep track of sales, of reviews, everything. For a 3-month period. So we've been going since the beginning of January, and we're going to be ending at the end of March.
And the way they try to pitch it is, instead of just having unknown, I guess, judges, they want the public to be the judge. So it's up to you to get out there, market your script, promote it. And that's one of the reasons we're on here, because we know you have a great audience who enjoys action and so
movies and
stuff. So we have our script, Johnny Was a Gangster, and it's on Amazon.com.
It's in both print format and digital.
Okay.
So if you have an e-reader, Kindle,
gotcha.
you could download it. And at the end of the competition, the top 3 sales leaders get a marketing and promotion package.
Very cool.
That, of course, will
Really
get us
cool.
one step closer to turning this into a feature film.
Yeah. Definitely.
Well, major congratulations to both
No,
of you guys
thank
for
you.
that.
Cool, guys.
Thank you.
It's different because most of the guys that are out there hustling are half our age.
Yeah. Well, you have more
But only
experience
half
on
as
the
sexy. But the other one we're working on, script is our third script is heist film, which is in the style of Usual Suspects and Reservoir Dogs. Yeah, it seems fun.
So that's the one we're working on now, and we're still trying to hash out some things.
Yeah.
But we're proceeding really good. So
cool.
really proud of our work. But
Gotcha.
That sounds cool.
That's awesome,
Yeah.
guys.
Thank you.
I wish you the best of luck and keep us posted.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
You guys will get the exclusive premiere. Hey guys.
Yeah.
Here you go, first copy.
Oh, well, we love that.
Yeah. It's awesome.
All right. So next up, sort of shifting, not genres, because Logan is ultimately an action movie in the vein of westerns.
Yeah.
You guys haven't seen Logan yet, and that's okay because you guys are busy.
Yeah, no, I have 2 kids, and one's a cheerleader and one's a soccer player. So you can imagine.
Yeah.
That's why I complain about the LA traffic so much.
Yeah.
Well, Logan is a movie that's it's big. It's the last Hugh Jackman Wolverine movie, a guy who one of the defining voices in the superhero genre for movies.
Certainly.
If you've seen the Deadpool 2 trailer, Ryan Reynolds is trying to make sure that it's not the case. That
No, he really rails for a Deadpool Wolverine movie. Ever since the Deadpool movie started getting steam. Gene, you and I saw it a while ago, and we never did a review of it. Some asshole didn't have time to edit it and didn't notify you.
Yeah, that was you.
Yeah. But we both really loved it a lot.
I loved Logan. Like, Wolverine, I think I said in the review that maybe we'll have up. I don't know.
This is a new review now.
Yeah. Like, Wolverine, I feel, is like the best Marvel character. Like, for DC, it's Batman. And like, I hear all these complaints like, oh, they overuse Wolverine, or like Wolverine, you hear too much of his origin, or you find out too much, or they overwrote him. But it's like, Wolverine is like the most compelling, like most dramatic, like most interesting Marvel character, that he deserves like all this attention, and he's the best he is at what he does, and Logan like cemented him as like the best, like most well-written, most like best Marvel character. And like Wolverine is he's Wolverine.
Well, if I can interject, I think the reason why people often have that criticism of like, oh, Logan is overused, or because in some ways he kind of is, and I think
but he deserves it.
No, well, he deserves it, but I think they dump him into situations where, oh my God, what are we gonna do here? Let's just put Wolverine. That'll solve everything.
Sure.
And I don't think they've given him the respect that, like you said, the character deserves.
Yeah.
He's become the crutch in some
definitely.
movies.
I definitely agree with that. And like X-Men Apocalypse, movie that I'm not too big a fan of, honestly. And there's a 20-minute diversion in the story where they go visit Wolverine again, and they just repeat a flashback, not even a full scene, a flashback from previous movies. But Hugh Jackman's always been so good, and there's like this interesting trilogy of Wolverine movies because they get better as they go along, and you start like at kind of the bottom of the barrel.
Yeah.
But they sort of represent the past, present, and future of Wolverine.
Right.
Present with Wolverine's because he can't die; it's his eternity is his present. Right. And then you get to the end, and we don't really need to talk about origins.
I will say,
crazy about that.
I really want to add, like coming out of the movie, like there were tears, manly tears coming out, because we won't say what happens, but like it really got what's up.
Logan, right?
Logan.
Logan really got me. Like I don't know, like because if I just love Wolverine so much, but like it also had no, I don't know if it's a spoiler. It kind of got out, but it really features the movie Shane. Like that's a big part of Logan, and that's probably like one of my favorite Western movies.
Classic.
And yeah, it's a classic, and just that they included that like in some form. I won't say what it was. Just really.
Well, I mean, you can talk about how it's used without saying specifically. Yeah. Like, I mean, because the movie it's a really great Western. Mm-hmm. It's a great action movie, but it's also like one of those action movies that meditates on the use of violence and how. Like, it's not just cool that Wolverine slashes people up left and right. I mean, that's kind of cool, awesome. Because it's not real. Like, if you saw someone actually doing that, you'd be like, call the police right now. Oh, my God. But, it's sad. He doesn't want to fight anymore. He's tired. He's old. He's like, he doesn't care about living anymore. And just the way that they use that, I thought that was pretty mature.
Hearing you describe it, it's kind of like we had a post up recently. Somebody had it up about what's your favorite movie. And that's difficult. But I was telling my friend on Facebook, to me, it's The Unforgiven, and they're like, The Unforgiven. I go, it's like, you always see the shoot 'em up, High Noon,
right.
Good, the Bad, and the Ugly for a few, fistful of dollars, whatever. But they never tell you about what happens when the guy gets older,
right?
Or what's his compulsion to continue doing what he's doing,
right?
And this actually shows you, hey, there's some point where you're like, fuck it, I don't want to do this anymore. I want to just be able to ride into the sunset and live my life in peace. But there's always that one thing that brings you back.
Like I think
it's definitely Unforgiven.
That's so great about Logan. Also, it's like he is the best at what he does. What he does is very nice, and he doesn't want to be the best at it. He doesn't want to do it anymore. And the use of Shane in the movie is so good because it's like it's not that Shane is referenced in the movie. It's why Shane is referenced in the movie, and Logan's about like almost metatextually about the X-Men characters' legacy, like just in comics, and what these characters mean to people, and what Logan in this universe means to people. And like that, it's just really, really impressive stuff. It's really grown on me, and I've seen it twice now, and I loved it even more. It's definitely my favorite X-Men movie now.
Oh, you could also say kind of like representative, kind of what Marvel is doing with the X-Men. Because they're kind of sweeping them under the rug too.
I've tuned out. There's just no time anymore for me.
Quick note: Marvel Comics is like Fantastic Four and X-Men characters they don't have the movie rights to. Right, all the comics they're kind of slowly undermining, like not featuring them. Like they killed off Wolverine. Like they canceled Fantastic Four.
Well, X-23 is Wolverine now, and I think that's a cool.
Well, they killed off Logan, but just kind of representative of that. But anyway,
comics are weird.
Yeah, comics. Are
they never make sense.
Yeah, but Logan. It's it's like I think it's like up there with the Dark Knight. Like it's like the top tier of like what a superhero.
I think I actually might prefer it. I don't know. It's
Dark Knight's the Dark Knight though.
Yeah, I know, but that's not even my favorite one. Okay. You know this, right?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. They're all up there, but. Like, they're all great. It's a good time to be a fan.
Yeah.
I had this section labeled, is Logan really that good? And it is really that good, I think.
Yeah, so I guess moving on to...
Yeah, so let's move on to something more relevant. As of the time of recording this, the Justice League trailer just dropped.
This morning.
Yeah. Some people have strong feelings about the DC movies. I think I've said my piece, and I'm just tired now, and I don't care. I had no reaction to the trailer, so I'll just let you guys take it away. I got nothing.
So I showed you guys the trailer like before we started, and like I think I put this on Facebook, but to quote George Bush, it's like, fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, won't get fooled again. Because it's like, it's a good trailer, and it's like everything looks cool, and like, it's edited well, and like it seems like it's supposed to get you hyped, but it's like I've been through like 2 Zack Snyder DC movies. Man of Steel, I know you hate, but like I enjoyed Man of Steel, but like BVS just broke my heart into pieces. Like I was like giving it the benefit of the doubt for like 10 months, because they promoted that movie for like a year before it came out, and like I watched it with an open mind. I knew like all the bad reviews. I'm like, it can't be that bad. And then like when I went in, was like, it's that bad. And like for me, it was just like Zack Snyder. Like, okay, he could have Superman snap a neck because it's like it worked for whatever reason, But like as soon as he had like Batman like stab a man in the heart and like, you know, shoot someone and like kill everyone, it's like,
which goes against, by the way, his major
Yeah.
code, his ethics. You know,
Yeah.
never shoot somebody because the whole thing with his parents. But
and it's so simple to get. Batman doesn't kill. Batman doesn't use guns. And like Zack Snyder's like, well, in The Dark Knight Returns, he kills people. And it's like, did you read it? It's like he never kills anyone in The Dark Knight Returns. You know, and it's like, it's like, it's just so simple. It's not rocket science. It's 1 + 1 = 2.
well, I mean, like you said, the trailer looks like really well edited. They chose the best scenes,
Right.
But it's kind of one of those situations where like, are they kind of like repeating what they did with the first one, where they show you all the really good stuff, and then you go in there and you're like, fuck, all the good stuff was the only thing that was in the trailer, you know?
Yeah.
You know, how can they stretch 2 minutes into 2 hours?
Yeah.
It could
But-
be all gloss and no
Yeah.
about it, because I'm a fan of Zack Snyder going back to 300.
Yeah.
but
Like 300's good.
Oh, yeah.
it's good.
But then
Dawn
you
of
wonder
the
how
Dead.
much Frank Miller's influence was in that. You know,
Oh, for 300?
And
for
going
300, you know,
Yeah.
was it, you know, Zack Snyder, or was it Frank Miller kind of like, hey, you gotta, this is not the way I want it. This is
Right.
the way you gotta do it.
Yeah.
You know,
back,
that extra influence there.
Frank Miller also because of Batman Returns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think Zack Snyder just misunderstands the characters.
like-
I mean, perspective, subjective, movies are subjective.
Yeah.
That's totally fine. But I think that when he talks about Watchmen, he's like, "Oh, this is the stuff I really like." And I'm like, "Yeah, me too." And he's like, "Yeah, you know, it's just so violent and like the sex." And I'm like, "What?
That's
No,
not
that's not what."
Yeah.
You know, and then I'll talk about like the Fountainhead as being like this great
Oh, okay.
story about like artists and like the struggle. And I'm like, "Whoa,
Oh,
Yeah.
we do not see eye to eye
Yeah.
at all."
But
Yeah.
then, okay, but then you could have your issue with
Mhm.
Zack Snyder, but then you have to turn around and say, well, where are the executives on this? If you already
Yeah.
know,
Oh
that
no!
this is not,
This is a big group of people making wrong
That's-
decisions.
yeah, they're making because I mean, if you already have, let's say, a misstep with Batman versus Superman,
Right. A huge misstep.
a bit I mean,
Yeah.
humongous, but then, you know, you're seeing what other studios are doing,
Like
the
Marvel.
direction they're taking,
Right.
you know, and how sticking close to the ethos of what the comic book character is, how important that is to keep the movie marketable.
Yeah.
Why are you then kind of going on this kind of broody emo version of Batman and
Right,
Superman?
yeah.
You know,
And
taking
kinda-
this, because I mean, there's nothing wrong with, you know, looking at and analyzing the dark part of a super. You know, we always look at,
Yeah.
the superhero's great. He does this, he does
Right.
that for the public, and he saves them.
But not every character has to be like
Yeah.
dark and really like Superman.
You know,
Like
all he does in BVS is he reacts to something, he's sad, he goes away, and then he comes back. Like he just gets sad and like
and
reacts.
to
He
tie
doesn't
it
do
back to
any-
Logan, I mean, to your point about Wolverine being the best one, I think that's arguable, but I mostly agree. Logan's so
Yeah.
good because that's the type of story Wolverine fits in. You know, Batman vs Superman, ideally on paper, might be the sort of movie that Batman and Superman fit in. Like, have the world around them be dark and have them struggle to fight against that.
yeah, instead of them being dark. And,
Yeah, and I mean,
I don't know.
Really, I'm a big Batman Returns fan. I think that's a great movie. It's not a good Batman movie, but I
Yeah,
think it's a
sure.
great movie.
Okay.
And he blows up like a warehouse full of villains in that.
Okay.
You know, like
Yeah.
you can do whatever you want with these characters. Just tell a good story. But if
Yeah.
you can't even do that,
Yeah.
I don't care anyways.
You know what I really hate? Like all the people that like praise BVS as like this kind of like they sound like, you know, people that like
Well, I mean,
all the-
they're entitled to their opinion.
Yeah, no,
I mean,
no.
the ones that don't send us death threats.
Yeah, no,
So.
but like they always come off like some like
is this glass bulletproof? By the way?
they always come off as like some like indie rock dude that's like, oh, you just don't get it. Like everyone like that like really likes it. They're always like, you don't get it. Like how do you like?
Well,
like it's like yeah.
okay. Well, that could be true, but then you go, okay, well, explain to me in terms of the character,
Yeah.
the story, you know.
right.
To say, oh, I just don't get it. To say, just don't get it is pretty much saying I don't have an argument as to it. It's just a subjective.
And
thing.
I've read some really good arguments online. Like I fundamentally disagree with them, but you know what? That movie has inspired
They're
really interesting
wrong.
writing
Yeah.
for me to read
wrong.
sometimes.
I mean, it's kind of like if you sit down with my wife and she explains to you why Showgirls is one of her favorite movies, and I'm like, "Are you out of your?" I mean, that's grounds for annulment right there, woman. It's
It
like,
has some good qualities.
yeah,
Dog food.
Oh, Showgirls is total
Showgirls.
schlock.
Dog
It's
food.
just awesome.
Dog food.
oh, yeah. Versace.
Yeah,
Family
you know.
but yeah, just closing off on BVS. It's just I don't know. Or Justice League. I just don't want to give it another chance.
Well, here, Renee, what do you think about the Justice League trailer?
Well, you know, you guys know me. I actually did did not hate BVS for what it was. I took it for what it was, and I did enjoy it. I will agree it's not the great movie of all time, but to me it's not there's worse comic book movies out there.
Yeah. I will say I like Suicide Squad a lot less.
I hated Suicide Squad.
My man, we never talked about it. Okay, I'm happy.
I hated Suicide Squad.
Yeah. Wonder Woman was fine,
and she has like a nice heroic action presence too. Like I'm not worried about her at all.
It's
Batman,
funny how they're like trying to make Wonder Woman super good because they know fans are gonna go ballistic if they screw up Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman has an unfair amount of pressure now. Now it has to be the first great woman-led superhero movie. Yeah. Now it has to be the first like universally loved DCEU movie.
Basically.
Like, that's just not.
Right.
There's no way.
Yeah. Did you hear all the like nitpicking of Wonder Woman? Apparently, there was the last trailer that came out, and like I think a group of people are already mad because she showed her underarms and they were shaven, and they're like, "Why is Wonder Woman?" I'm like, "What is that your only complaint?"
No,
that's ridiculous.
Okay. And that just goes to the argument: why do feminists feel they have to look like Wookiees in order to be? There's nothing wrong with some personal hygiene and personal grooming.
Yeah. Just one last note on Justice League. I just don't get like why Zack Snyder's hired, because there was a report that came out. BVS, you know how much they profited? It was like
they lost a lot of money.
No. They only profited $100 million. That's how much they made off that whole movie. $100 million.
And how much did they put? They put a lot of money.
They probably
into
put
it.
like $500 million.
No, it was like $200 million for the movie, and then like $200 million for marketing.
Yeah, so they lost. Yeah.
Anyway, I don't get the mentality
okay, so
behind it.
just moving on. Matrix reboot. Really quick thoughts.
Okay,
it's not a reboot. It's like a prequel about Morpheus.
I mean, nothing's really been confirmed.
There's rumors that Michael B. Jordan's supposed to play the young
Morpheus. And then Zach Stentz, the guy I think who's hired to pitch it or write it, was like, "Oh, guys, like, it's not a Matrix reboot. Like, we'd be crazy to." And I was like, "Okay, good." And they're like, "But there are other stories in this universe we want to tell." I'm like, "All right."
Like,
so you guys gonna hire the
Wachowski sisters? So it ends up being
like
a prequel then?
It's a prequel. It seems like.
What is it? Like kind of like how Fantastic Beasts is, where it's like
maybe
the world of the Matrix.
Right. Have you guys
okay with that?
Yeah, have you guys ever seen the anime movie, The Animatrix?
No. Yeah, I saw
that. That's amazing. That was
actually pretty good.
Like I think the Matrix is such an interesting world that there could be other stories.
I think but I think this is the type of property where you have to keep the Wachowski sisters on board because this is their idea. And this isn't something like Harry Potter. You're like, oh yeah, you put these directors over here and these stories over here. You put the stories, but you have to get those minds because regardless of their faults. On occasion, the Wachowski sisters are such like ingenious filmmakers.
Right, sure.
Like their movies are never dull. They're always doing something big and bold. And sometimes their ideas are too big for them.
I'll say
I'd rather see that.
But like it was interesting, sure.
Like
Speed Racer. They did the Speed Racer movie. Yeah.
I loved Speed Racer.
Speed Racer was actually pretty good.
But anyway,
absolutely.
I'll give it a chance. Sure, why not? The Hemlock Grove they did was good, right?
They didn't do Hemlock Grove. They did Sense8. I hear Sense8's really good.
Sense8 I heard's good.
Well, what do you guys think? Matrix reboot?
I'm a purist.
Okay.
I don't like. I mean, when the new Ben-Hur movie came out, my siblings were like, "Are you gonna go see it?" I go, "I already saw my Ben-Hur. I don't need another Ben-Hur."
Right.
If they were to redo Jaws, I've seen my Jaws. I don't have to see that. But it's really good. That's part of the reason why even with Kong I'm kind of like it's like I saw my 1970s Kong. That's
fair.
Yeah, it's like, but I mean I'm willing to give it a chance.
Okay.
When it comes to Redbox,
right.
But it's not it's not like $50 to pay for a sitter and go out and leave the kids on.
Well, I think that's an interesting point too. Like sometimes unless you're like paid to professionally write about movies every week. You don't have to watch everything.
Yeah. No, you don't.
Like if you did something like that's just
you could rent everything.
Yeah.
Like Justice League. That's clearly Netflix. Not going to be for me. So I'm probably not going to watch it in theaters.
Right. Pull the wife together. Netflix and chill.
There you go. Yeah. So we'll see.
Yeah. Next up, Baby Driver. Edgar Wright's upcoming movie, August 2017. Gene and I are pretty big Edgar Wright fans. What about you guys?
Big fans. Shaun of the Dead. A lot of action. Comedy.
Yeah, well, considering I was saying the trailer, seeing what his background is, it was like, man, this is a little bit of a departure because, like, Hot Fuzz and all that stuff is kind of like more like a spoof, comedic, and this seems more like
an original.
Like he's very. He said in interviews like he's very inspired of like all the 70s like like action chase movies, so like Bullet or
Bullet. I was gonna say Bullet, classic.
Trying to remember some other ones he mentioned.
I don't think he mentioned it, but
Death Race 2000.
Thief and Drive. Like the setup is Thief and Drive, like a hot getaway heist artist meets a beautiful woman at the diner, and then they fall in love. Like that's set up to Drive and Thief. That's not a negative. I'm just saying, like, you could see the inspirations flow, and that's why he's such a cool director. You see like his inspirations, and he's like, all right, now my turn to do something with it. And he does something different.
Yeah.
That Thief with James Caan.
Yeah. Oh, so good.
Yeah. So I'm definitely looking forward to it. The trailer is just amazingly edited. Just he cuts so well, and just as an editor, I love it.
And that's another director, I think, that his idea, it's like the reverse Wachowski sisters. His ideas might not be huge, but he executes them so well.
Yeah,
And
then I don't know, did anybody else get the vibe that the guy in the movie might be kind of like a functioning autistic?
Yeah,
like
no,
the whole thing with the headphones.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean,
he has some
pretty inclusive.
He has like
characters with disabilities.
Well, it's kind of like the Ben Affleck movie, the accountant, where he's like a super, like he has like a disability, but it's like a superpower in a way.
I don't think it's autism for Baby Driver, but he has something where it's like he's in chronic pain, and there's like a buzzing, so he used the music to tune it out.
It could be interpreted that way. Yeah, it could be.
No, that's literally what the thing is in that movie. And then the soundtrack to the movie is going to be his playlist on his MP3 player or iPod, whatever kids have these days.
Yeah. So just moving on to pitch a movie, we're going to have you guys pitch a monster movie, and we're going to give you, explained before, we're going to give you one note each, and then we're going to go back to this later in the podcast, and you'll pitch this for us. So kind of like an improv thing. So Diego, do you want to give the first note?
Yeah, okay. The first note, it has to tie into the King Kong Godzilla monster movie universe.
So it needs
Destroy
to be
all
monster
monsters types. Yeah.
Okay.
It doesn't have to be one of those creatures, but it has to tie into that.
Yeah. Renee?
I was going to say, I'm trying to think of what the monster could fight specifically. Come back to me, actually.
Okay. I'll give you a note. All right. So it needs to have Mothra. Mothra needs to be in there. Because I think Mothra gets a bad rap.
Mothra does get a bad rap.
Because it's like everyone's, she's a moth, but she's the only good monster. And she's beaten Godzilla several times, so no one gives her the credit.
Yeah, take that, nerds.
Yeah. Renee?
Then, you know what? Then towards the end, you got to hint at King Ghidorah.
King Ghidorah.
Okay.
Yeah. So anything with those 3 points, and you're good, guys. Yeah. And then, cool. So we're going to go back to that later. We're going to cut right now to an interview segment with Len WEIN, the creator of Wolverine. Just a note about this interview. I just, when we were doing this, it was in a convention center, so it's a little, the sound might not be the best. And, the first part of the interview got cut off for technical issues, but in the 2 minutes we have, he's talking about Watchmen because he was the editor of Watchmen. He talks a little about just comics in general. So, please enjoy. So, Len, you were the editor on Watchmen, and DC is sort of bringing back the characters, it seems. Do you have any thoughts on that?
I can't wait to see what they do with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And most famously, you disagreed with the ending for Watchmen, which was the Outer Limits. The Outer Limits episode. I forgot the name of it specifically.
The Architects of Fear.
Yeah, the Architects of Fear. Just off topic, do you like that that episode as a story?
Sure.
Okay. Cool. And one last question here. And the Watchmen for the movie ending, did you like that a little better?
I liked some of the changes they made. Okay. Getting rid of the squid, certainly I liked. I did not like how violent it was. It was more violent than the comic.
Right.
Okay. But that's Zack Snyder. He seems to...
This is a good group of boys. We're all gonna die together out here. You shouldn't have come here.
So, Gene, you're a big monster movie fan.
I'm a huge monster movie fan.
Yeah.
So first monster movie that I think I could recall. Memory is a little fuzzy, but I remember seeing first King Kong Like my dad brought it on a VHS tape from like work or something. And like, you know, I think I was okay with King Kong. I remember like falling asleep like during watching it. And like, I don't know, it didn't really do it for me as like a 4-year-old, but like he was like, "Oh, okay, you didn't really like this one. Here's Godzilla." And like Godzilla I completely like fell in love with at like 4 years old. Like it was the original black and white. I think it was, I want to say it was the American one because I remember Raymond Burr. And if you guys seen the Raymond Burr one, is like, it's so bad, the editing. Well, I didn't know at the time, but like they literally like cut the movie stops, and then he explains like what's going on as the movie's going on. He's like, you know, he's this weird narrator just explaining what you already know. And like the way they put him in the scenes is so bad. Like, you know, they have an obvious stand-in for like all the Japanese characters, and he's talking to them, and like, you know, it's just it's bad. But anyway, yeah, you know, I fell in love with it. Funny thing is, like, I always tell this to people, like, I felt more empathy with when Godzilla dies than when Kong dies, because it's like when Kong dies, it's like I don't feel anything. Like he is like.
So basically, you're okay with nuclear Armageddon, but slavery.
No, well, like because it's like King Kong, like you're supposed to feel sorry for him, but like when I was a kid, it's like, yeah, but he's destroying all this stuff, and he's like,
oh, because he's not supposed to be there.
Yeah,
he's just reactionary.
He's not supposed to be there, but like you're supposed to feel this great empathy, and it's like I don't really. You know, I don't feel bad for him because it's like he got what he deserved, but it's like
what?
Whoa!
Well, see, whereas I'm the opposite. I mean, it's kind of like what Diego was saying. It's King Kong. They took him out of his home area and they put him in the middle of someplace he's not supposed to be.
Yeah.
So you could kind of see him being like, "Fuck this shit, I'm out of here." You know, and I'm gonna mess things up.
But
would you bring a coyote into your house, Gene?
No, but
exactly.
But it's not.
But then Godzilla's the opposite. Godzilla comes in and like, look at the city. I think I'm gonna fuck shit up. Mm-hmm. You know, so it's like, there was no provocation. There was no
But you know, for like Godzilla, it's like he's the last of his kind. He is like, you know, this, like, you know, he's this. I think he has like he's the most well-designed monster. Like, just he looks like, you know, gorgeous as like, you know, monster design. He's the king of the monsters. Like, and in the movie, it makes no apologies for him. He is what he is. You know, he's a monster. He destroys, and like, you know, it's sad. Like, just like the ending, I think is sadder because it's like first he's the last of his kind, and they have to destroy him because there's no other way. And like, you know, they use the oxygen destroyer, and it's also sad because you know, the creator dies and he sacrifices himself because it's like he doesn't want people to use this as a weapon again, which they probably will. And then the third thing is just like people will still use it as a weapon, and it's just, I don't know, it was a sadder ending for me.
It's sadder for what it means for the world, but I think like as an individual identity, King Kong is clearly sadder.
Yeah, well, that's just my thing.
Right,
but that was my first monster movie, and I just watched every single Godzilla movie after.
Well, I'm gonna date myself here. First monster experience or movie was watching Channel 5. Used to have like movie weeks.
Stole my answer.
I used to watch with my dad the Monster Movie Week, and it would start off with Godzilla, and then move on to Mothra and so on.
Did you ever see Gorga?
Oh, Gorga, and then it would end always with Destroy All Monsters.
Oh, that's the best.
So, but Baby Godzilla, not so much of a fan. But
Minya?
Yeah, I don't know. But Godzilla is definitely my favorite.
Yeah,
definitely.
He's the king of the monsters.
He's the king of the monsters. Similar to Scotty, you know, I it was reruns on Channel 5 or Channel 9.
Channel 5. Channel 9 also.
Yeah. Channel 9 was the karate movies. But, I mean, just hearing that roar, I remember trying to emulate that Godzilla. Something about that Godzilla roar, just, it's like, you know, I love that thing. It's almost like a metallic.
Oh, you know what? How they do the sound design for that, right? It's a gate. It's like a gate that creaks. I remember watching like a special. I can't remember, but they use like this creaky gate to make that kind of.
And then they just.
That's like the basis of it, and I'm sure like they add other things.
Like other effects and stuff.
But
yeah, you know, I used to love watching them, and you know, I'm kind of ambivalent on the King Kong Godzilla argument because I love both.
Yeah, they're both great.
Yeah, they're great. You know, it just brings back, like Scott says, you know, brings back memories of childhood, and that's why, like I said, I'm a purist. I don't like the remakes. You know, Matthew Broderick has no root No,
That
stick
doesn't
to
count.
the
We're not-
producers, fuckers. Stick to the producers. You know,
Like two Ferris
yeah,
Bueller.
you have to. Yeah, the Ferris Bueller too. You know, but don't mess up my Godzilla movies,
Yeah.
and don't, you know.
Right.
Did you like the recent Godzilla movie?
I haven't had a chance to see it yet. From what I've seen,
Okay.
it looks like it's going back to kind of like the classic, like, you know, like
Yeah.
the original. Well, not the original. The King Kong movies that you know we saw as, you know, as kids, because mine was the Jessica Lange one.
Oh, the Jeffrey. Did you ever hear I think they built like a real life size Kong that they only used for like 5 seconds?
Yeah, for like, you know, it was one shot. Yeah, and then like a military. You know, to me that, you know, that's the
God.
ultimate childhood memory, is
Yeah.
sitting with my parents at the movie theater watching that King Kong version.
Yeah.
But
Diego?
I don't even remember what specifically Godzilla movie it was, but I had countless VHS of the Godzilla series. Just countless. I've seen so many of those movies. But I could not name you any specific one except for the first one and the most recent one, and Destroy All Monsters.
Yeah.
But the one I remember watching the most
Yeah,
was Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla.
Oh,
I
okay.
really liked the robot Godzilla a lot as a
With
kid.
King Caesar, the dog.
Mhm.
And the dog.
Yeah, but that's the one that I watched like all the
That was a
time.
good
My
one.
parents must have hated me just having that thing on loop.
My parents hated me for what? Yeah, they hated, like, I don't know. They didn't hate the Godzilla movies, but like I kept rewatching it, and they just got tired of it. But yeah, that was yeah.
Yeah, but monsters are cool.
Monsters
But
are
I guess like, does Jurassic Park count as a monster movie?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, I mean then dinosaurs, because I mean that's the movie that got me into movies basically.
Okay.
So that all goes back to that.
All right. So I guess we'll move on to our next segment.
Yeah, this is a little different. You guys still have like 10-15 more minutes to discuss or think about your pitch.
Okay, we're working on it.
Well, Gene and I talk about Kong Skull Island, a movie that was maybe my most anticipated movie of the year. I loved Godzilla 2014. He didn't. He loved Kong Skull Island. I didn't.
Yeah. So let's go at it. If you guys want to moderate this debate.
oh,
Well, here let's talk about our thoughts on Godzilla 2014. Go take 30 seconds and
So Godzilla 2014. I remember like just being so anticipated for it. I watched all the trailers. I was like, I think when the first trailer came out, I was just, because it leaked first. I remember it leaked first, and then Warner Brothers like jumped on it, and I saw the leaked version. I was like so hyped, and then when they put the official version, I was even hyped even more. Everything about it, I was just loving. Bryan Cranston was in it, like Gareth Edwards, director of Monsters. I loved, like the way he was talking about it, the way he was talking about Godzilla, and I watched every trailer. I got so hyped, bought the soundtrack, bought it at like a IMAX or whatever, and then I saw the movie. It was like May 14th, 2014. I came out of the theater and I was just livid. I've never been livid before, and I was just like, I just felt they just dropped the ball just so bad, on just the like how the screen time for Godzilla, how they use Godzilla, the human characters, just everything about it was just, there were some good moments, but it just didn't do it for me.
yeah, and then I was pretty excited for it because I love Godzilla 2, and the trailers the marketing's awesome. Yeah. And then I watched the movie, I was like, yeah, it was pretty good. And then I couldn't stop thinking about it, like day in, day out. I bought it on Blu-ray.
Oh, okay.
I don't know how often I watched it, but I watch it pretty often. And the human characters are like uninteresting, but after a certain point, because like they're not the point of the movie. Like it's all about how Godzilla reacts, or how Godzilla like represents the balance of nature and like restoring everything that comes before. And like even just from the opening shot, like it's a Jurassic Park shot of the helicopter going into like the jungle and man exploring places maybe they shouldn't be exploring.
It's well shot. It's great cinematography.
Yeah, and then like just compare that shot to like the final shot of like Godzilla going back into the water, and the water just sits still.
Yeah, no,
because everything's gonna go back to normal.
I'm not knocking the cinematography.
We don't matter at all. It's not about the cinematography.
Okay.
It's about how cinematography means to the movie.
Okay.
You know, like
I'll let you go. Sorry.
Shall we break them up now?
The human characters
might need to break this
are uninteresting because they're not the point of the movie. Godzilla and what he means is the point of the movie.
Okay.
And so, yeah, I think it's fucking brilliant.
Okay.
I think it's the best Godzilla movie.
Okay, so that's your spiel.
Yeah.
All right, now we're gonna officially duke it out.
Kong Skull Island. Now we got to talk about. Kong. We haven't actually talked about it.
The gloves are not off yet.
And then gloves come off.
So
Fair fist.
no holds barred.
There's an alley in the back. You guys could go.
So Kong Skull Island was 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
I lost track of time. So I saw Kong Skull Island on my first day off as an assistant editor. After working nights, I was like sleep deprived. I was exhausted. I didn't see it the whole weekend. I saw it like on the last Sunday or whatever. And like I just came in this movie just feeling nothing, and leaving I felt, oh my god, it was just great. I loved everything about Kong Skull Island, like just the way it was shot, the way like the aesthetic and like just everything about it. Like the editing was just insane. Kong, I loved how they redid Kong, where he's like a god on this island. Like he was kind of like that in the original, but he's literally a god to them. Like just all the Vietnam War themes they had, just like Samuel L. Jackson was great in it. Like, you know, John Goodman was great. Like all the world building they did with Monarch was just awesome. You know, like Kong had a definite role in the movie. You know, you knew what he did. He was a great monster. I love that they didn't go back and go to New York and do the same stuff, because, you know, like the 70s remake, they did the same stuff. They had the same plot. The Peter Jackson movie, which is great film, but they just do the same thing. And this one was like, no, let's not do that. Let's do this instead. And I know there are flaws. Like it could be 20 minutes less. You could cut 20 minutes of that movie, you know, probably be better. The themes maybe are a little muddled, but, you know, I just dug the shit out of that movie. I just fell in love with it, you know?
Yeah. I fell in love with portions of it.
Okay.
And I don't think it's dumb. I don't agree with that argument at all. It clearly has a lot in its mind. It's got a very strong anti-war message.
Yeah.
Perfect for the Vietnam War allegories.
Yeah.
The problem is that I also don't care about the stock characters. That's not the problem with the movie.
Yeah, because it's like, who's going in a monster movie? Like,
the problem is too many of them survive, and then they become pointless. Okay. And not in the same way they're pointless in Godzilla, like inherently to show how humanity doesn't matter to the world. Mm-hmm. They're pointless because they like having these really good actors in the movie, even if they have nothing to do. John Goodman, what does he do after he goes to the island, you know?
Yeah.
Kong is awesome. The monster fights, awesome to watch on the big screen. Like great. The monster design, it's just these gorgeous constructions. Yeah. And I wanted to spend more time like doing that. Like it was very like we got to go to point A to point B, point C, point B. And I don't think that's the fault of the director, Jordan Vogt Roberts. I think
great.
He's great. And
Larry
Fong's cinematography is awesome. Wonderful.
Yeah.
The Skull Crawlers are really interesting monster designs too. They're just Cubone, by the way. This isn't an indictment or anything.
Sure.
They're Pokemon design.
Okay.
Like he said that they're Pokemon
and the
design.
Mewtwo's are just the monsters from Monsters.
Again, it's not a criticism, and the Mewtwo's are way cooler than the monsters from Monsters.
Okay, sure.
It doesn't feel like it knows how to explore the themes when the monsters aren't on board, or when there's not a scene of Samuel L. Jackson or John C. Reilly.
Right.
And there are all the ideas are in there, so I can't like say it doesn't have anything on its mind, but they don't always follow through on them. It's like the Man of Steel thing for me. We're like, oh yeah, we'll talk about it. And then a single scene represents something, but they don't follow through on it.
Yeah, sure.
It's like starting a paragraph with like a kick-ass like introduction and then talking about a recipe for cranberry sauce in the next scene, you know? And so it doesn't mix. And some of the deaths are like really Jurassic World level mean, like unnecessarily so.
Yeah.
And like there's one specifically towards the finale where like this, it looks like this big sacrificial hero moment, and then the guy gets bitch slapped to the side and it just blows up for no reason.
That was like, cool. Like that was.
Why is it cool?
Because it's going against expectations. Like,
who cares? Like, but the same thing in Jurassic World when the girl dies for 5 minutes before getting swallowed by a giant monster. It's like, yeah, you don't expect that, and it's like, so what? What does that mean?
You didn't expect that.
What does it mean though?
It's just the guy that likes the movie where Bryan Cranston is set up to be the supporting character and he dies like 30 minutes in.
Yeah, because the story's not about the Brodies.
Wait. Are you finished? And we gonna go?
Yeah, now let's just go.
The gloves are off, so I'm gonna.
Wait, I want you to defend that part. I want you to defend why going against expectations makes it a good scene.
You know, it was just because like, okay, he's gonna have this hero moment. It's like, fuck you, monsters. Like, doesn't matter your hero moment. These are like gods, and they'll like mess you up. You know, it was just like you didn't like. Okay, if he killed the monster, like, would it have done?
Well, then don't even have that scene.
It was
because the rest of the movie doesn't set that up idea.
Though, dude, you're like making the whole.
Well, that's one of the issues I have with the movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you know, it was just good expectation. It was like going against expectations. If it worked for you, it didn't work. You know?
Well, let me ask you a question, both of you. When you have movies like this, where you have your canons, you have your, like you said, your expectations. How much do you really want there to be that breakout moment that's completely different from? I mean, and I'll give you an example, going completely off the genre. It's like when they talk about how they filmed the original version of Pretty Woman, and Richard Gere doesn't come back for her. You know, according to the original ending. That was the original ending. Because spoiler alert. You know, according to the book, the original book that it's based on, he flies off and they never see each other again. And of course, you know, oh my God, that's so fucking sad. Oh yeah. How much of what we've come to experience from watching the Channel 5 movies, the reruns, everything. Right. How much of that do we want to see rehashed in these new movies? And that's why, kind of like I said, like I'm a purist and I like sticking to the canon, because to me that's like comfort food almost, you know. That's like your mac and cheese, that's your grilled cheese, you know, your tomato soup. You know, when I'm feeling bad, this is what I'm gonna go back to. You know, I don't want to see a movie and go have something just completely out of the blue just kind of fuck it all up for me.
I think because they only did maybe a few like go against expectations. I think it worked, you know. I think movies should do that more, where they go against expectations. They do something crazy.
I think there needs to be a reason for it, and like there's a reason cliches are still
sure
like concurrent with modern cinema.
We might need to look at that scene again, but I mean, you know, when expectations. This is like a marriage counseling for us. It's like Godzilla is just
I charge by the hour, guys.
Yeah. All right, so I'll just go off my points on Godzilla. So I feel I get your critique, or I get your support of like the human characters thing, because I've read that argument. I think because it's like, and this became, I remember
really quick. I just love the phrase post-human blockbuster.
Yeah.
Like that is exactly what it is.
I get that. Like I totally get that. But why? But the way the movie is, the way the movie's shot and edited, the focus is so much on like Aaron Taylor Johnson, where it's like I get what you're trying to say, but the way the movie shows that character, that argument doesn't work.
No, I think it's because you need someone to follow still, because we as an audience still need to see something.
Boring, like he's a
boring because
what's his name?
It's not about him.
What's his name?
I don't know.
See, that's Brody. The point. That's the
it's Ford Brody because it's the Spielberg thing.
Oh my God, that's the point. You don't remember his name.
So what?
But you spend so much time with him.
Like, I don't remember like half the cast of Heat. But still like one of my favorite movies.
Well, it's like Danny Trejo and like all that.
Yeah, but what are the names?
I don't know, but like
exactly.
Yeah, but that's bad movie making.
No, I think that's a superficial look at something that the movie is not trying to do. Okay. Like I don't think anything that Kong Skull Island's trying to do is wrong. I just think that it doesn't fulfill its needs for me. You know?
Yeah, but it's just I don't know, like.
You dislike Godzilla more than I dislike Kong, like significantly more.
I don't know. I appreciate the movie. It's just like those flaws are like Batman killing people in BVS. They just
that's not inherently a flaw with BVS. So the problem is that it's a bad movie first.
But I'm just and I don't know. Just I don't get that, because it's like it's a post-human blockbuster, but the way they have the story go, it's just that doesn't make sense though.
Well, the story's about Godzilla and the return of nature.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, look, like when the Brodies go to Japan, the father-son thing, the Last Crusade thing, which is great. And to your point about that, I would not have minded if the story was also about them reconnecting and becoming a family again.
Why didn't they do that?
I wouldn't have minded that, but the movie wasn't trying to do that, so you can't. I don't think that's a fair criticism.
Yeah. Okay.
But like when they go to Japan, they're going back to their old home. And it's
that
really
was cool.
Melancholy thing, and then
nature
has overtaken where they lived because they don't matter.
Right.
And I think it's not cynical,
why spend so much time on them if they don't matter, and why center the story on them?
Because that's the point of the story.
That's a waste. That's a waste of time.
No, maybe you don't want to see that story.
But
someone
wanted to see
someone wants to tell that story.
I wanted to see that story. So it's like
you have it.
You
just don't like it.
You're saying this, and then the movie's showing something different.
I don't think so at all.
It's okay. And
well, how is it showing something different?
Because it's like, this is a post-human...
Do we break them up now?
I guess so, yeah. You're just calling it. The post-human blockbuster seem like... Why have scenes like, like when he goes back home, we're eating cake, let's have birthday cake every day. It's like, it's like scenes like that. They don't make sense if you're trying to have a post-human blockbuster. You're showing character development. You're showing like...
There's no development. You're seeing the world.
You're seeing like them. The characters. It's like... It doesn't make sense to me.
Well, because they still exist. They just don't matter.
Maybe if you show the movie and point this out to me.
Okay. I think we have to do that.
We'll move. Okay. And the other thing, because I know.
Last thing, then I go to Kong.
Okay. For Godzilla, this is one of the biggest points I have because I feel like this is because I think Gareth Edwards is a great filmmaker. I think he made major mistakes on Godzilla.
You and I both adored Rogue One, so this isn't like
so it's not like Gareth Edwards is bad. I just think he made mistakes. So it's like it's okay to say that. But his whole thing about this is that he wanted to do it like Jaws, like he used Godzilla like Jaws. I don't think that. I think that's a bad argument because his reasoning is like, oh, we want to use Godzilla like Jaws, but if you look at the original Jaws, he has like a presence throughout. Like, you see the shark books, you see Chrissy getting killed at the beginning. His presence is felt. Godzilla in the 2014, he's not Jaws. Like his presence is never. Like you see him in the opening scene, you see like his presence for like 20 minutes, and then like the movie centers around the Mutus. And the Mutus are like the main characters. They're driving the plot forward.
They're driving the plot, but they're not the main characters.
They feel like the main monsters. I mean, it doesn't feel centered around Godzilla.
No, there's a pivot there.
Yeah, and then Godzilla just stumbles into his movie. He literally stumbles, and like Godzilla just he stumbles in, like you cut away to when they're fighting. I get his reasoning for that, but it's like, then why?
I'll tell you why right now. Because
can I finish my thought?
There's more.
I'm not finished.
Jesus.
I did it because I'm like exhausted. Why cut away to like the stupid joke with like, oh, mommy, monsters on the TV if you're gonna like.
Because it's funny.
It's not funny.
And go ahead, finish up. But I have a rebuttal for that.
And like when you see Jaws, when you see Godzilla, and then like his other argument is like, oh, Godzilla, we want to do it like the original movie. We don't show him a lot. Yeah, but like when you see Godzilla in the original movie, he's not behind a building. He's not under the water. He's not covered in smoke. When you see him, you see him. It's not like these like, you're like.
Let's cut you off because we're gonna run out of time.
Yeah.
So one sentence, go.
And also Godzilla, like he's inconsistent as a character. He's like the destroyer of worlds. He's a force of nature, and then he's a hero kaiju, savior of our city. And in the DVD release,
hurry up.
When they show that news report again, it doesn't say savior of our city. It just says king of the monsters. Because savior of our city, after destroying it and only saving people because you have mutual goals, does not make you a hero.
Okay. That's, again, from the human perspective. We have to position.
But
we feel that we have to position. No. We feel that we have to position everything for our means. But Godzilla doesn't give a fuck, so he just walks back into the water.
Yeah, but
here's why it's okay. Here's why
he destroyed the city. He killed that dog
because he killed the Muto. Well, they don't know the dog.
He killed that cute dog.
Yeah. No, I agree. He's the good boy. Okay, that's my big problem with Godzilla. I need to know if the dog's okay. I'm not kidding.
He's not okay.
That's heartbreaking to me.
He died. All those people died.
Godzilla
killed all those people in Hawaii.
Gene, Godzilla is used in a measured sense because. So what? You see two fights with Godzilla, and the Muto gets away in Hawaii.
That's fine.
That's boring because then every scene with Godzilla, you get more and more, and it's like a measured intake of food. You're not gorging on a whole meal all at the same time. Look at the way like he uses Chimway in Rogue One. Like people gave him shit because it's like, oh well, he beats up all the stormtroopers in one scene. You don't see him do it in the other ones. It's like reverse Godzilla. You see the big opening stuff with him, and then he can do that for the rest of the movie.
Yeah.
And so they evolve his action sequences, right? It's like that with Godzilla, but instead of evolving like his action sequences because he's a giant fucking bag
but why
of
frustrate
meat,
the audience so much with
it's not if people are frustrated by that, they wanted something like Pacific Rim, which is fine, but I don't think you can counter the movie with that point if it's not trying to present that to you. Like you want something else that the movie's giving, which is fine, but these points aren't what the movie is trying to accomplish.
But it's bad filmmaking.
No, it's not inherently bad filmmaking at all. Why is it bad?
Because
you don't want that, and that's fine. But that doesn't mean the movie's wrong.
Because if you're gonna show something and tease your audience and then cut away to a joke like about monsters, that's bad.
Why is that bad though?
Because you're having these expectations and you're throwing the expectations out the window when you switch tones and you make it into a
switching
joke.
Expectations out the window. That's crazy. If only someone had brought that up with another movie that I get to go off on now.
It's just
you wanted something that the movie didn't give, and that's totally acceptable.
Okay.
Just like Kong Skull Island.
Yeah.
Gave me half of what I wanted. Real good. The monster fights are fucking awesome. The action sequences are superb. And then the movie also opens with like a Looney Tunes of a guy fall. Why? Like, what is the movie trying to say with that? Like, here, like, look at what Godzilla said. Godzilla has a clear, concise point throughout its entirety, and then Kong Skull
why
Island.
Is that Looney Tunes? Like, what Looney Tunes is that?
Like, I was like, whoa, this is a problem already.
It was a crazy opening.
Why? Yeah, but like, why? You know, like, why? I need everything to connect as a whole. I don't want individual cool stuff here and there sprinkled throughout.
That was apparently that was supposed to be setting up Godzilla versus King Kong, American versus Japanese.
Okay, but that doesn't have anything to do with this movie.
Yeah, but it wasn't like it's an opening scene.
Okay, here.
Supposed to
I got a couple things. I didn't even have to write them down because they've been sitting up here for like 2 weeks now.
Okay.
All right, we'll got to brisk through this because we need to go back to these guys.
Yeah, I know.
And I want to get your guys' thoughts on the rest of that.
Yeah.
So the characters. I don't care if they're stock characters.
Okay,
Aliens are stock characters. James Cameron uses stock characters all the time.
I don't get that argument either.
Yeah, no, that's ridiculous.
Yeah,
but the problem is that they don't have a lot to do. They don't impact ideas in any way. Fuck plot. Plots don't make movies. Ideas make movies. So the great characters in the movie are John C. Reilly and Samuel L. Jackson because they pinpoint the anti-war message of the movie. Mm-hmm. John C. Reilly was in a war. Then his enemy became his best friend on the island and who unfortunately passed away.
Maybe that's the theme of the movie.
No, that is the thing. I'm saying that's great. Yeah. I'm pointing a positive for you, motherfucker. No, and so there are these great ideas between the two where like he doesn't care about the war anymore. The war's over for John C. Reilly. So when he asks like, did we win the war? And they're like, which one? He doesn't really care. He just wants to go home. Yeah. And the Vietnam War fucked people up so badly. Yeah. Like Samuel L. Jackson's character, that's all he has. Yeah. Right? And so he pivots that onto Kong because he needs to win because we lost the Vietnam War. Right. And when those two characters confront each other, it's this great, like, ripe emotional stuff and tension.
So you're saying the themes of the movie and you're saying the movie.
But then there's everything else surrounding that.
Like what?
Why do we follow what's Dear Billy? Who wrote that? The Toby Kebbell. He's great. Yeah. So we follow stuff like that, but why do we follow that character for so long for him to die? Like that's not subverting expectations in an interesting way. That's just filling screen time. Like
I think it was just that.
Like, but it'd be like
they could have cut that. Sure.
Yeah. If he died early on, Samuel L. Jackson's character withheld that information from the group and lied about it to keep them there for the fight against Kong. Yeah. You know, the Monarch stuff, like John Goodman's character becomes utterly useless. Mm-hmm. You know, again, the problem is not that he's a stock character; it's that they don't use them to explore these ideas.
Well, I think that was like it was a mandate. It's like studio mandates, though.
Okay, but you got to make them work somehow. You know.
Yeah, I don't think it worked like 100%. No. But it wasn't
like the John C. Reilly stuff again. Great.
It wasn't like Iron Man 2, like stopping the movie.
Iron Man 2 is fine. It's more like Thor: The Dark World, I think.
Iron Man 2, like all the Marvel Cinematic Universe stuff, like they stopped.
It's really not that bad.
Yeah, it wasn't that.
I think it's worse than Thor: The Dark World because it feels lifeless.
Okay,
like when Kong feels lifeless, it feels like Thor: The Dark World to me. When it's lively, it feels like
it wasn't like the end all be all the world building stuff.
No. But then, like, the John C. Reilly stuff is great. You open and close the movie with that, but then the rest of the movie has like, there's nothing happening. You know, you get like a Cannibal Holocaust reference at one point, and that's like, whoa, it's a crazy kill. Yeah. Why does it matter though? Like,
it was. Cool.
I know this seems like a lot to ask for in a movie nowadays, but like, really, everything should matter to an overarching picture. And then the Brie Larson character. Okay, I think that's an idea on paper is brilliant because they're doing the Ann Darrow thing, but without Ann Darrow. Yeah. And a new character, an anti-war photojournalist, is fucking brilliant. And then they have two moments when she meets Kong and then when he picks her up out of the water.
Yeah.
There's nothing connecting any of that. And it's like they have all these ideas that they throw on the screen, but
that Kong has empathy, is that?
Yeah, but then there's nothing like showing that besides two unconnected sequences.
Well, he's a benevolent or not benevolent. What's a nice god?
A nice god.
He's a nice god because it's like he takes care of the people. He takes care of that tribe. So that's the basis for that scene. That he's a nice kaiju. He takes care of people, and I mean, I can't really defend it. The fact that you kind of know you have that history engraved in your brain that Kong is nice to women. So that's beside the point because that's not of the movie. That's like mythology that you should know. But
well, no, you shouldn't put that on the audience.
Yeah, no,
that's
what I was
picture.
trying to say.
Okay.
But you get that Kong's a nice thing, nice guy, because John C. Reilly says Kong's, Kong. He's praising Kong, and
no, you see, he says it, and then you see it, but there's still a piece missing there. There's like a component, like to connect the two between them.
You get enough information from the film, from like the tribe that like worships Kong, and he takes care of them from the skull crawlers to get the idea that Kong would save someone. That's the thing. Like, it's all there, but they don't explore it. Like they pinpoint it. It's like note cards. Like here's a good idea for the most part. Again, the John C. Reilly, Samuel L. Jackson stuff I adore. Yeah. But don't you agree that if they showed that Kong's benevolent towards the people, then he would be benevolent towards
again on paper as we're discussing it makes sense, but when you watch it, it's like there's something missing in the flow of things. Maybe we need to see it
again, but that's
I'm open to watching it again, but I really didn't like
that's my argument
to
say that's why he saved her.
Okay,
that's
all right. And then look at like the way they use the soldiers. This is my last thing because we got to wrap up.
Yeah.
Why? Like, why? I think the message would have hit harder if they all died, because then you get the more tragedy aspect.
Most of them died.
Of the but then the ones who survive, like why? Like I don't understand the use of these characters. Like it feels like every once in a while you watch a movie like Aliens, like you want
Bill Paxton.
Thank you, Bill Paxton to survive.
Yeah.
But if he had, what's the point of it? And so it's like Jordan Vogt Roberts thought that when he made Kong Skull Island, and then he kept all of those characters alive, but didn't understand why they needed to die in the first place.
Okay.
And so stuff like that. Like again, you dislike Godzilla more than I dislike Kong.
This is coming from the guy that's like a post-human blockbuster.
Yeah, but there's a point to that in Godzilla, and Godzilla makes that thesis statement clear. In Kong Skull Island,
I feel like we're missing. I think we're
big
missing,
old adventure movie, which there's nothing wrong with.
I feel like there was like a point the movie made that like the humans don't matter, like everyone could die here. Your lives are meaningless, sort of thing.
If you find that scene to make that point,
I feel like there's
I will high five you.
All right, we'll find
because I guarantee there's no point in that movie for that.
So, yeah. Anyway, guys, was there a clear winner here, or just?
I think both of you are emphasizing the fact that
is it a stalemate?
Yeah. Well, no. The idea is I think both of you are frustrated because in both movies, there's the elements there to be a good movie. But there's not that one thread that binds them all together. The messages are there, the stock characters, the actual main characters, they're kind of like pieces of a shirt, but there's not that one thing that stitches them and makes it a coherent shirt. It's just like pieces of fabric lying on the floor. You don't know what it really is.
Yeah. Okay.
But I think in both of your arguments.
Yeah, I'm going to call it a draw.
I think if everybody, both movies sucked. You guys are stupid.
Yeah. No, actually, movies are bad. I'm canceling the podcast forever.
I kind of agree, but at the same time, I watched Kong, and I saw Kong, and I've seen Godzilla. I don't hate Godzilla. It was actually, a good movie, good storytelling, and stuff like that. It's just that for me, there could have been more Godzilla in it. But other than that, I watched Kong, and I see that that's how Godzilla should have been most of the time, watching Kong, and I liked how they portrayed Kong as like this God protector.
Yeah.
He's they said
which is why he would save Brie Larson.
Again, on paper, this is like my favorite thing ever.
Sorry. Yeah, and he's just basically kind of like Godzilla. You don't mess with him. If you mess with wherever he's at, then he's gonna react.
Yeah.
Just any sort of organism, basically. So
you like Kong a little more?
I like Kong a little bit more, so I would have to say Kong.
Like I get the mass appeal to it.
Yeah.
I put really quick to wrap it up. I put out a question, a poll on Twitter: Godzilla 2014 versus Kong Skull Island. Godzilla won 71%.
Really?
Kong Skull Island lost at 29%. Yeah.
Wow.
153 votes. I love 71% of you.
That's fake news.
It's fake news. Dang.
Share this screenshot until the day I die.
That's probably more accurate polling than you would probably get from InfoWars.
Jeez, the guy that believes Australia is real.
I was surprised because a lot of my Twitter followers didn't seem like they liked Godzilla. They were more Gene's side. And then I saw this and I was like, Oh, I thought it was gonna be way closer.
I think for debate-wise, I think it's still a stalemate. But
Yeah,
we made a lot of progress today.
I think so. I feel
we
good
made a lot
about
of
it.
progress in our marriage.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, we're
great.
totally married.
Okay.
Bernie Sanders and Gary Johnson.
All right. So pitch your movie, guys. You got 5 minutes. I'm gonna give you 3 minutes starting now.
Wait. Are you ready? Are you ready?
Are you ready?
Okay.
Okay. All right.
Go.
3 minutes.
Okay, what we got is you have your Godzilla, you had your Kong, good movies. Let's have the battle royal. Let's have them go at it. But in the midst of this, like Diego was alluding to, hey, there's people involved. We really don't count. They try to find a way to break up the two. Mm-hmm. They get Mothra involved, and they go all Ant-Man on them. They find those electrodes that connect that control the ants. Mm-hmm. They make a big, humongous head wrap for Mothra. Goes out there, breaks them apart. At the end, you see kind of like the ships, floating away that they use to control Mothra. And out of the water, the still water, you just see 3 sets of horns come up. King Ghidorah.
We thought this would be a great bromance between Godzilla and King Kong. Give a new element to it, but in the end, we wanted to see that all-out battle. We want to see more blood.
So they fight.
It's a lot better than having Kong and Godzilla in front of microphones arguing the merits of their movie.
we wanted the movie to end. If you ever saw the original King Kong and also the remake with Peter Jackson, I love Godzilla. I'm going to cry. But anyways, you want King Kong pulling his head apart with the jaws like he did to the Tyrannosaurus Rex in the original film. So, Godzilla, then Godzilla's fire comes up, burns Kong, his fur's all on flames.
That, by the way, is a fundamental question I should have asked you guys.
Yeah.
Why is it in the Godzilla versus King Kong movies when Godzilla fires off that fire, atomic breath, it never singes Kong's fur?
Because they didn't
probably
have a
budgets.
budget.
Yeah. Basically.
In
the next one,
realistic answer,
in the next one, that's got to happen. If that doesn't happen, it'll be like fake news.
Because you see that in Skull Island. You see that he's getting cut.
Yeah.
He's getting burned and stuff like that.
I love that stuff.
He's actually trying to heal himself. And stuff.
So any other notes, guys? You have 1 minute left.
Well, that was the.
Okay,
you see King Ghidorah coming out of the water. In contrast to the water's going.
Yeah.
Calm. They go calm.
The creature comes up.
Gotcha.
That's good.
Cool. All right. So cool. You had 1 minute to spare.
All right.
Cool.
Gene, what do you think?
I think I'll buy it. I like your plot structure. Mothra. I like Mothra being used as the tiebreaker. So I'll buy it.
The Wonder Woman of their Trinity.
Yeah.
No, I'd watch it too.
Save Mothra.
Yeah.
Mothra's definitely underrated.
And then I liked your point about the contrast. Instead of the water settling, now everything's all fucked. So that's that's just good continuous thematic
Ghidorah's
plotting.
he's like the craziest kaiju ever because he's like the monster of monsters. King Ghidorah.
He's like the monster versus I don't know what's against Joker. No, because Joker's like
Darkseid.
There you go.
Darkseid.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Renee?
Definitely buy it. Yeah, because I liked how you guys threw in King Ghidorah. But then also the use of Mothra, too. Using electrodes to control him and stuff like that. So that's what I liked.
Insect world.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely enjoyed
And that brings up the whole ethical issue. How good is it to use, insects or nature to manipulate them to do something that
would benefit us.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Cool. So you guys, we bought it.
Right.
You
Hey, you want to buy our
hear
other
that,
scripts?
executives? Follow
We have
example
a few more
executives.
scripts.
Cool. All right, guys. So just wrapping up here, we're gonna just do some quick movie reviews. Just anything you've seen recently. I saw we already talked about Kong and Logan. I saw the Belko Experiment the other day. I liked it. It was good. It was a very simple movie. Everyone gets locked in the office and they kill each other, and the movie accomplishes exactly that. No more, no less.
So it's pretty much the purge inside of
Office Space.
Yeah. Battle Royale meets
cubicle.
Office Space. It was good.
What is it? Office Space meets Die Hard meets the Purge.
Yeah.
Well, they did a movie like that. It was called
Battle Royale.
No. It was they did it like a battle royale in an office space. It was called
really?
like Operation Endgame or something like
What?
that.
I never
It was
heard
a
of
bunch
that.
of comedians inside of it, and it was like a funny take on it.
Oh,
it had
okay.
Zach Galifianakis. He was in it, and then what's his name? The bald guy from Hot Tub Time Machine.
Oh yeah. Rob Corddry.
Yeah, he was in there too. It's a good movie. It's basically you see a bunch of people. It's like the premise is that it's a secret CIA facility, but it's all in an office space, and they get locked in there, and they have to kill each other to get out.
Yeah.
So it's super funny.
Cool.
Yeah.
I watched. You guys can hop in with reviews after if you'd like, if anything you've seen recently. It doesn't have to be recent movies, just something you've seen recently. I watched Power Rangers, and that's my introduction to Power Rangers. I missed the boat. It was always in my life. I knew what it was. I just never watched it as a kid. It was either too violent when I was younger, or I lost interest as I got older. But no, it's fun. It is. I heard shockingly competent, and I'm like, that's a little harsh, but yeah. I mean, I was surprised.
Power Rangers movie.
Yeah, it's goofy.
It's made for 5-year-olds.
Yeah, they don't put on the suits for like 90 minutes, which is weird, but I'm like, it's well made enough.
Batman doesn't put on the suit.
Yeah, no.
Batman Begins.
This ain't no Batman Begins,
Yeah,
that's for sure.
yeah.
But the characters are really likable. The cast is uniformly good. Like, they have that sort of chemistry that you only get when people genuinely like each other. Like, no one's that good of an actor, you know? Elizabeth Banks is doing like some next level 90s camp. Like, it's awesome.
She's like trying to be
Bryan
like a
Cranston's a
cartoon
floating computer head. Bill Hader's a sassy robot.
It's like
it's
Batman
fun.
and Robin if it was good.
No, because it's a little too serious sometimes.
Okay.
And the CG, they clearly don't have the budget for that.
Yeah,
Like, there's
yeah.
a reason Pacific Rim fights take place at night. It's because they look better in rain and shadows.
Yeah.
Okay, like,
Let me ask you a
it
question.
ain't good.
On Power Rangers, in the vein of the great Beauty and the Beast debate, how obvious is the reference to the Yellow Rangers' possible lesbianism or bisexuality?
It's very subtle, actually.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's actually one of the criticisms I have with the movie. People are making a big deal about it.
It's
and I was
like,
yeah, fuck yeah, that's
Sulu
awesome.
in Star Trek Beyond, right?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
it's not a big
You
thing.
guys-
I wish it
you saw
was a
Star
bigger
Trek
thing.
Beyond. Yeah. I was gonna say, how bad is the Krispy Kreme?
Oh, it's pretty. It's like Man of Steel, bad product placement.
Really? They have really bad.
I didn't
So the
think
product
I mean,
placement
they did say
in
it a
Power
lot,
Rangers?
but they didn't show it. They just showed it like maybe
God, I
3
hate that.
times.
I really
but they
hate when
said it a lot.
Yeah.
They said Krispy Kreme a lot.
I really hate
Like,
when product placement just is bad.
I didn't. Yeah, but no. Even my bigger issue is like I wish it was more tonally consistent. Like it's
Okay.
weird the joke that it opens up with. I'm actually not going to spoil it because I want to see
Okay.
how people react to it.
Totally.
And I wish they had gone bigger with the LGBT stuff and RG Seiler as the Blue Ranger.
He's
who was
autistic.
Yeah.
Autistic.
I wish they had done a little more with that. But no, it's solid. It's solid.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, bringing it back full circle, back a couple of weeks ago at the Pasadena Film Festival, we saw a documentary called Long Live the King.
Okay.
And it's all about King Kong from 1933. And they give a full history about it.
Yeah.
It's about an hour and 20 minutes. An excellent documentary. They're trying to get theatrical release, or at least on DVD.
Yeah.
But it would be a great film for all your fans listening to this podcast, this particular episode. Long Live the King.
You're gonna have to help me because I'm having one of those senior moments. What
You're
was the
only
name?
about 40.
I know. I gotta get my ginkgo biloba back into my diet. What was the name of that one movie that we saw about the couple who lives in the apartment where they set up the cameras?
I'm having a senior moment as well.
I think it was called The Occupants.
Okay.
It was a movie was submitted for the Pasadena Film Festival. Lower budget, but it was kind of a view of what happens when this couple sets up cameras around their house because they're going to go on like this weird like raw diet. They're taking all the processed foods out of, but then the twist to it is somehow in the process, because they're like supposedly expanding their minds with this new diet or whatever, they start recognizing that there's an alternate reality, like a different plane of existence.
Interesting.
And the twist to the movie, same thing. I won't give it away. If you have a chance to see it, they do have it up. I think it's occupants.net or occupants.com. And for your next podcast, I'll send you guys the information. You guys can get it out there. But it was really good. I mean, it was.
Cool.
We were sitting there and we're like, okay, they had this special thing where the participants could go and like a lounge and hang out and drink and
you talked to
to interact with other screenwriters and people in the business. And we're like, okay, we thought a bunch of like short films we'll be able to get out of here and go. And this was actually a feature length one, and we're like, fuck, we're gonna miss out on the free drinking. But actually, after about the first 30 minutes, we're like, fuck, this is actually a good movie. So we didn't mind sticking around.
It was a great example of using found footage.
Yeah.
They had a lot of cameras and very well.
But
very
not
well done.
overusing it to the point where it's like
paranormal activity.
Yeah, it's like that point. It's like you could tell there's enough of it that they thought through, but because there's the images of them, and then there's the footage that they find off of their cameras that drives the action forward. Cool. But if you have a chance, and like I said, I'll try to, either find the booklet, the brochure that we got with all the listings of all the movies, and I know it has the net address on there. If you guys, I think that you could either pay there and stream it, or they're going to tell you where they're going to be screening it in the future. Gotcha. But it was really good. I mean, sometimes you go to these festivals and you're like, okay, how many more art movies?
I've been there.
But cool. If you have a chance to pick it up, it's called The Occupants.
So those are two of our favorites: Long Live the King and The Occupants.
Cool. Definitely check those out. Yeah. So I think we got to wrap up right now. Plugs, guys. Where do people?
Where can they find you?
Try to add us. Friend us over at Johnny Was a Gangster, our Facebook page. Has all the information about the films we're working on.
Right now that's like our working page. Eventually, we are in the process of copywriting our logo and our name for our, you can say, our writing company or production company. But that's the page we're going to be using to disseminate all the information about not just Johnny, but all the other scripts that we're putting out. And then if you have a chance, if you haven't done so already, pick up Johnny on Amazon. Again, it's part of a contest, so if you guys are able to help us stay in the top 3 as far as the sales, we'll get that.
You won't be disappointed. Yeah, an action thriller.
I mean, the best review I got was my daughter. So when you have your own daughter, when you're not cool to, as a parent, you're not cool to your kids. But my daughter, who was supposed to be doing homework at this time, by the way, walks in and she's all, "Oh my God, I picked this up and I couldn't put it down until I saw what happened." When you get that kind of review, and then afterwards, of course, I told her, "Get your ass back in there and do your homework." But
that's awesome.
That was a good review. But
cool.
Like I said,
we'll put the link for that on our page. And
thank you.
Yeah, of course.
And Diego, where can they find you?
Diego Waffles on Twitter. President Diego. It's a long story.
That's his Twitter handle.
Audienceseverywhere.net, where I actually have a full written Power Rangers review and a lot of other stuff coming up. Obviously, I contributed a Hellboy retrospective for Talk Film Society. Check that out. Just links on Twitter. It's on Twitter. It's on Twitter, I promise.
And then you can find me on Twitter, Instagram, all around G9892. And then on Facebook, We Own Nothing Films. Please look there. Renee?
Oh, you guys can find me on Instagram and Snapchat at Renee G. Bravo.
Cool. And then, cool.
All right. Thanks for listening, guys. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for the invite.
Thanks for watching. We have been Professionally Unprofessional.